Is this thing on? All right, how the fuck is everybody doing? How are you doing?
Pretty good.
Thanks for being here.
Yeah. Thanks for having me here.
Oh man, no problem. Joint effort. Joint effort. So I've fallen into a rabbit hole lately. I've been looking into musicians who have dealt in the dark arts and or black magic, and uh, I've been quite interested. Been quite interested.
What you told me, the sneak peek you gave me, was pretty interesting. So
Well, yeah, and
we didn't go into too much detail because I wanted to hear it as everybody else hears.
right, yeah, I was like, I just kind of got to shut up. But basically, what I've been looking into is the Dave Mustaine mainly, and his involvement. And if you don't know who that is, that was the first lead guitarist for a little band called Metallica, and little garage band. But he played lead guitar with them and had already done some voodoo stuff before, and basically, there we go. And done some voodoo stuff before, and uh, was kicked out of Metallica. I seem to have led myself to believe that he was basically really fucking pissed off, you know, um, the way they kicked him out and just a lot of other things. But two, I think he was into that shit, and he admitted to being into that shit, and he admitted to
Tell them about
it ruining his life.
The bus.
He admitted to it ruining his life, and that he had used black magic before and it worked. And now he's a born again Christian and stuff, and been saved and baptized and stuff. There's certain songs that he won't sing, and of his songs, and he won't play with satanic bands either. If you're a satanic band, he won't have you on the show with him. He'll either not play, which will get you kicked. You'll get kicked.
Yeah.
Or they let him not play. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If he says, I ain't playing because you're on it, well, then the promoter's going to kick your ass off before they let Megadeth quit.
Yeah.
So that's basically what that actually happened with one band, and the lead singer ended up committing suicide.
God.
Yeah.
Ain't that and more black magic? You know, like
He could have been. You're dealing with that shit
at least.
when you play with that shit. But the part that's really crazy is Kirk. I think Kirk Hammett's the one that he really hated, you know, and the night, you know, if you're thinking, oh, well, what could he have done? I think he put a hex on Metallica. I think he put a hex on either the bus or something.
Well, that he would probably be killed, that guy, and the spirits going there to wreck that bus or whatever you would particularly say, spirit, whatever.
Yeah, it's like maybe he was just he was an alcoholic and a drug addict, you know. So maybe he's doing the black magic, but he's fucked up at the same time.
Yeah.
So it's like misdirected. It's like a big.
Yeah, either that or like you said, they switched bunks that night.
Yeah, whenever he said. And we'll
So you know, it's all good. You can think how you want to think, but I like just discussing it. It's
between Stockholm and Copenhagen.
On that European tour, you know, we had a really bad bus.
These particular buses weren't purpose-built that we have now. They have normal windows like a passenger coach, and the bunks are just bolted in. Then they put cardboard over the windows.
Earlier that night, a friendly dispute between Kirk and Cliff over sleeping arrangements concluded with a draw of cards.
The first card that Cliff picked was the ace of spades, and he looked at me and said, I want your bunk. And I said, fine, you take my bunk, I'll sleep up front. That's probably better anyway, you know. Later on that night, at about 5 or 6 in the morning, I heard a skidding, I heard a vibration, and then this motion. I thought we were going off a cliff.
He overcorrected to get back onto the road, and as he did, the back end came around this way, and it started chomp, chomp, chomp.
It's the sound of screeching brakes and being flipped around like a piece of clothes in a dryer.
Just got woke up, like hot coffee getting poured all over me, you know, from the coffee machine, and, you know, the bus was on its side.
What happened? Is the bus gonna blow up?
I jumped out of the bus, took off, did the 100-yard dash in about 7 seconds flat.
And we're standing out there in our underwear and, you know, 10 below.
And I heard everyone screaming except for Cliff. And I thought, oh my God, something's wrong.
Seeing the bus driver just, you know, freaking frantic.
And I turned around and I saw Cliff's leg sticking out from underneath the bus.
I went to, you know, pull him out, wake him up or whatever. It's like, you know, he's not moving.
And the driver walked over and started pulling on the blanket that was underneath the bus next to Cliff. And I said, what are you doing?
I grabbed him and said, don't you take that away from him.
Against all odds, the band hoped that somehow, some way, Cliff could be saved.
A crane turned up, a big crane with a jib and all that, and they hooked up a chain around the bus, and they picked the bus up.
There's still people trapped under the bus, but everyone else was okay.
I don't know if Cliff was dead at this point or not, because the bus actually slipped back after they picked it up. They lifted it to pull him out, and it slipped back and landed again on the floor.
After that, I was in such shock that everything else
Even
for the next...
I got the tow truck there.
They're
to try
about to pull it
save
up,
him.
so he might have been alive.
Yeah.
We don't know if he was alive, but the thing fell again. Tell me that don't seem like some fucking voodoo shit.
It does, and I believe in it, honestly.
I want to, you know.
Yeah.
I want to.
I'm not gonna say I fully believe, you know,
but
I somewhat believe in it, like
yeah, and I think
It's difficult for me to comprehend
because
that the only thing that you feel when you look
That guy
back on
fucked
the
it up.
last 20 years is rooted in the Metallica thing.
Okay. I'll explain in as simple terms as I can, not to stultify you, but to just make it real easy. I had nothing. Then I had everything. Then I had nothing again. And it was okay going from nothing to everything to nothing, but then having someone stand on the back of my head and keep me underwater made it even harder for me. I've been erased from any involvement. The quotes that I was never meant to be in here anyways, it was just filling a spot, I was just a temporary guy, I was a fucking loser and a drunk, I got kicked out. All the horrible things that were said immediately after my firing. I agree, I should have been fired because I was dangerous because of my disease. But watching for so many years, the band continue to become successful and successful and successful, and us to never address, you know, the way that I was let go. My God, Lars, you guys woke me up and said, you know what, you're out. And I asked you, what, no warning? I said, no second chance? And you guys said, no, go. Good God, man, I didn't get a chance. And I've lived, and yeah, maybe for some people, you know, 18 years is a long time. For me, it seems like yesterday. I woke up and I look up and I see the guys that I love, that are my extended family. You gotta remember, all I had was my mom. All I had was you and James. We had dreams together. And I sold everything to join that dream. And then it ended. And I agree with you for doing what you did, because of the nature of the disease.
What disease is he talking?
Addiction. Alcohol.
Don't kid yourself. I mean, if it,
Made Lars cry.
there was ways to address, what was going on, with my problem. And who I am sober is totally different from who I am drunk.
Billy's sober. And
We never gave it a try. We never gave it a chance. Would it
they
have
were drunk,
worked?
they would be happy drunks,
As much as I loved being with you guys, I'm sure it would have. And coming down to the part about the violence, if I was at a party and I saw someone hit you again, I'd break his leg again in a second. That's just my nature. I'm overprotective to the people that I love. And every time I see Phil, I feel bad for him. But I wasn't going to let him hurt you.
Who's Phil?
Sandoval from Armored Saint. Don't you remember me breaking his leg?
Oh, I don't remember it was him. I remember
Yeah.
the incident.
He pushed you down and he hurt you. I made sure he didn't hurt you again.
He's crazy.
He is crazy.
You didn't fuck with my band members.
That's some real shit, though, honestly.
See, now, we're seeing it from his side now,
Yeah, like
how he felt,
got
the
fucked,
spot,
honestly, because they got all the women, the
they were about to
money,
get signed,
everything,
their
the
first
fame.
album, and
And you don't get nothing.
4 of the songs on there, I think. Now, correct me in the comments if I fuck this up, but at least 4 of the songs on their first record were written by Mustaine, and they didn't give him credit for it until I think they had a lawsuit. I think they had a lawsuit about their songs, but as far as I know I should have had all this ready, but I'm just we kind of just wing this. Yeah, we have a better time just winging it.
We do, honestly. You get better content. This is really
Yeah, it's
what we're
more
doing.
natural.
I mean,
What was
don't call me daughter.
Don't call me.
Don't call me.
Not meant to. The picture kept will remind me. Don't call me.
This question is from Subhashish Mukherjee, and he says, I want to know the truth of black magic. My non-Bengali friends believe black magic has come into existence from West Bengal. How much truth is there in this?
It's a very Bengali question. The truth, they're not asking how much truth in the black magic, they're asking whether it came from West Bengal or not. Well, Kerala people believe it came from Kerala. It's little fishy, both the populations. Lot of fish in them, So, at one time in this country, as you have a family doctor, they used to have a witch doctor. Almost every family had somebody to consult on these kind of aspects, because these arts were so widespread. Did it originate in Bengal? Did it originate in Kerala? No, I think it survived more in Kerala and Bengal today. In other places, it's gotten a little wiped out. Essentially, what you're talking about is occult. Occult is a certain technology that you can use your energies to create certain impact. But unfortunately, it's gotten very negative press because market was for the negative. So people used it more negatively than positively. It could also be used positively. It's like any other technology, you can either use it positively or negatively. Unfortunately, the negative usage became overwhelmingly larger then the positive usage. So people think occult means it's negative. No, the usage has become unfortunately negative. It could also be used in a positive manner. When I say it could also be used in a positive manner, you can transform life with it. You could help people out of their health situations, out of their psychological situations, various things could be done. Instead of that, because the market is mainly for the negative, because of that it's gotten a negative image. Occult is like this. See, right now, all of you have a phone. Suppose you had a phone 100 years ago, cell phone 100 years ago, you could claim you have occult powers. Because you could just take this and speak to somebody in America, everybody woo, they will shiver, okay? Yes or no? So occult is just technology. You could communicate, you could use your energies to communicate with somebody. But as modern technology becomes more and more subtle, the need for occult is receding quite a bit, because so many things that we used to do in occult today can be delivered. You can send a WhatsApp message, you don't have to sit there focusing to send a message to somebody anymore. It took a lot more energy and time to do that. Now, message goes.
I feel like it's
so
like that
messaging
with
business has completely fallen.
And everything, man, it's just people depend on technology so much, even
we've crushed
me,
ourselves, we've crippled
to the
ourselves.
point. Like, I'll catch myself, like, almost getting lazy because I play the game.
Right.
And I'm like, man, I gotta snap out of it, you know? Like,
because well, games aren't what they used to be.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's something you gotta keep in mind while you're playing it, because you will get addicted to it.
Yeah.
It's like a drug. You know what I mean? 'Cause
is.
it's a quick dopamine hit. And it was the best thing for me to get off of drugs with, because it's such a good dopamine hit.
Yeah.
It's almost a
Adrenaline
good enough
and
almost a good enough substitute, especially winning.
Yeah.
And that's what I was telling, our friend that we have that is struggling, I was telling him, I said, bro, the other night I could tell you didn't have shit. But I said, you was jamming. I said, because he said, I know, right? I was sick as fuck. I said, but yeah, but you knew, or even if you didn't know, I was like, back of your head, you're not gonna get that dopamine hit. You know what I mean? Unless you win.
Yeah.
You gotta win. You know what I mean? So you gotta play well. So you gotta concentrate. So you gotta get your mind off of being sick. You know what I mean? So you occupy the mind.
Replace a habit with another habit.
With another habit, yeah. That one might not be the healthiest, but it's a lot better than shooting heroin.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's what I'm trying to help him get off of, man. I think he's starting to see the light, but it's just...
He's there. He's right around the corner.
Yeah, you got to get there.
Right around the corner.
Yeah.
But, yeah, like, it ruins everything, man. Like, I mean, I know everybody says, some people says, like, oh, I'm out of this generation. I should have been. I feel the same. I should have. Because I would have enjoyed it so much better, like, having to, like, because it's easier to cheat on people with the social networks. It's easier to cheat people out of money with the credit cards and all that information. It's just like, there's a lot of bad in the
People sit there selling your information.
And you're giving your time, your valuable time on this earth, to being a zombie to the technology, pretty much.
Slave to a neon light.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's kind of their way of stringing us along like donkeys with sticks attached to our collars, with a carrot hanging on the stick,
Yeah.
We just keep walking towards the carrot, and you never get the carrot.
Because we never look over here and say, hey,
we never look around.
We can break the stick.
Never question in reality.
I'll bury my head down, break the stick, get the carrot. Because you just think if you keep walking,
and
you get
that
that
in
carrot.
itself is a form of the matrix, right? You know what I mean? Like, that's a basic form of a matrix.
It's the start.
You created a matrix for that donkey. He thinks that if he walks far enough, that he's going to eventually get that care. So you've motivated him in a way that he wouldn't have been otherwise.
Yeah.
And you've created an alternate reality.
He'll probably walk himself to death.
You've created an alternate reality for that donkey that wouldn't have existed had you not you added intent.
Yeah.
It's like intent plus energy
Purpose.
plus whatever. Yeah. Yeah.
Meaning.
Or the illusion of purpose.
Meaning, yeah.
The illusion of purpose. And meaning.
Honestly, I feel like we're in the start. Like, I mean, I don't think I don't know. The Matrix might happen, but it's like, if it was gonna happen, we're at the beginning.
We wouldn't know.
We're at the
It's either we already are,
or
we never will.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know if they.
I think you'll kind of know at the first
would.
attack, like kind of.
Well, I mean, if you've always been there,
Because technically the Matrix
you've always
is
been there.
robots.
Yeah, I mean,
It ain't nothing.
we
with
get used to
government.
stuff very fast. Well, I mean, that's if you're taking it literal.
Yeah.
If you're taking that movie
Like
completely literal, like the gospel,
Yeah.
then it's not gonna work.
Yeah.
But if you look at it kind of like metaphorically and kind of look at the Matrix as a veil that's pulled over our eyes, that we're grabbing stuff. This stuff's real. You know what I mean? But our motivations, you know what I mean? They get us to do things that we wouldn't do if we weren't motivated by some. It's like you either make this money or you get to live like that bum on the street. You seen that bum on the street, right? You don't want to live like him. We're gonna show you on TV that we do something for everybody except the homeless. Like you're the homeless of the homeless, dude. You know what I mean? Where are you supposed to get the HUD voucher at? You know, when HUD does call back, who are they supposed to call? Well, they're just gonna come find you. Are they gonna come find you? No.
Yeah.
Are they gonna fucking? You know what I mean?
And not everybody has family they can go shack up with or
Yeah.
call.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, that's the biggest hole in everything. And they say, you know, you judge society by how they treat their homeless. You know,
and we're pretty shitty on our
we're
homeless.
pretty shitty on our homeless, and it motivates the fucking rest of us to.
Okay,
even have
speaking of
time.
that, it just, like, because I didn't get paid, you know, I was a little low on funds coming up, you know, this week. And I think it was last night, I was outside the hotel. I was walking out, talking to my mom on FaceTime and everything. And I get out there and I'm talking to her, and a guy pulls up. And he had a couple teenagers in the car, you know, and he was Hispanic. And he sits there and he says, he's like talking, but he don't speak great English. So it's like, you know, and he's like, you know where to sleep, you know? And I'm like, yeah. You know, he's like, do you sleep here? And I'm like, yeah, my company pays for me to stay here, you know? And he's like, you couldn't help me with sleep or water or food? And I said, well, man, I got some food up here. I said, I'll bring you all of it if you want that. Like, and he was like, no, money. All right. And I'm like, well, I can't. I ain't got no money. You know, I ain't got no money right now. If I do, it's tied up in bills and stuff.
It ain't happening, yeah.
And he was like, started handing a ring out the door. Like, took off one of his rings and was and I'm like, nah, put that back in there. And he's like, no, take it. I'm like, no, dude, take the ring back. Like, I don't want the ring. And I'm like, you know, if you need a place to stay, I'll try to call one of my bosses and see if I could hook you up. I knew not going to happen. But anyways, I stepped back and called. They don't answer, of course, because it's like 9:30. I feel like a douche. But
They should try.
Yeah. And then I go back and I'm like, man, I'm sorry. I can't help you with the room. Like, and he's like, money, man. I'm like, I have no money. I said, bro, I got 2 kids myself. And they got to be fed and bills got to be paid there first. Like, I'm sorry. Like, if I had it, I would give it to you. But I don't have it. Can't give it to you. I can give you food. I got it up there in my room. I can give that to you. But that's all I can offer you.
Yeah.
And he was just like, you know, okay. And like rolled up his window and drove off. And I was like, you know, I like, and here's the thing. my street I live on, it's like literally the hot spot for bums, right there off the exit, and I never give any of my. There's a guy there that has no legs though, and he wears a veteran hat. Regarding, I don't know if he's a veteran or not, but every time I see him, I give him money because literally he has disadvantages, and
yeah.
You know, the other people I kind of look at like, man, they're hiring everywhere. You can literally be a felon and get a job places.
Yeah, there's a labor shortage.
Yeah.
Like,
so what is your excuse on not getting a job? Like, if you had to sleep outside, if you went and worked and came back, you'd still have to sleep outside.
at least you'd have some.
But you'd have money, and then you could start getting little hotels and
the bar for getting the job though, because if somebody comes who's not homeless, they're gonna beat them out of a job.
That is true. But if you could
DHHR
present
should have
yourself,
something set up to where like kids get clothing vouchers for school, but if someone's homeless, let him get something to shave and let him get toiletries and shit, some toilet paper and some fucking, you know what I mean? So he can clean himself up with so he can look presentable to go to the fucking job interview.
Yeah.
So he can get the goddamn job. Pull his damn self out of poverty. You know, how's he supposed to come in there when he's got a big beard like this? He fucking ain't. He can't shave.
Yeah.
He ain't got nothing to shave with. He ain't worried about that. He's starving. He's starving to death. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
He gonna go to work at McDonald's and fucking eat the fucking burger off the line.
No
Say, get your fucking ass out of here, motherfucker. Goddamn, that's why I never give you motherfuckers a chance.
Yeah, and
that's not my words. That's just the ball. That's McDonald's said that.
But, McDonald's, don't take my word. Take McDonald's.
I'm talking about
word
McDonald's, but yeah, man, fucking, you judge society by how they treat their poor, and we don't treat our poor very well at all. Yeah, that's definitely food for thought. Yeah, kids, don't fuck with black magic, and
don't fuck with black magic.
Don't fuck with black magic.
Because I believe in dark spirits and
you
stuff.
can pull
There's
some
too
dark
many
shit.
cases of spirits and just sick shit. Period. All the way. Not gonna say it's spirits all the way around, but or like that.
People pulling energies that we don't. There's stuff going in between, just in between me and you. There could be an entire galaxy or an entire universe, and we not even be open or be able to perceive it.
And
because it's in between.
It could be
the ether. They call it the ether or the, you know what I mean? The
space
between
infinity.
the space between fucking. I think it's what Dave Matthews was talking about. The song, the space between. You know what I mean?
Such a good.
Because there's like a in between matter. There's a whole nother, is that just air or is that, you know what I mean? What could that be? Because we only perceive, I think, 2% of what's going on. Our eyes are only equipped to perceive a small percentage of it. You know what I mean? And quantum mechanics proves that there's all kinds of shit going on that we can't even fucking look at.
Yeah.
And if we could see, we'd probably fucking go nuts.
Oh,
you know
God.
what I mean? We'd go nuts. That's why psychedelics are so fun, because
you might be experiencing what's
get a chance to
happening.
see the space between. Maybe. Maybe it's being lifted. Maybe it's being lifted, and you know what I mean.
That's the key.
It's adding the. Well, it's a lot of people get there, but it's kind of a. It's a.
Or it might be a
cheat
self-awakening.
It's kind of a cheat way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's something that needed to come along because society needed to have such a jump in consciousness in such a short period of time. Think about 100 years ago. You know what I mean? If we'd been talking about some of this shit, space between ether, and we'd got laughed out of the fucking
that'd have been
door.
Probably,
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Y'all are weird.
Ready to fight.
Yeah, y'all are fucking weird.
Ready to fight.
But yeah, and
with
the black magic and the black magic stuff, dude, they'll fucking get rid of you. You know what I mean? They'll fucking
you're bewitched.
They'll burn you at the stake.
Yeah.
In the 1800s, that wasn't a long time ago.
No.
At all. And
Now, do you ever think there was cases where they wasn't even into nothing and people just didn't like a person? They're like,
well, and then later on you had
spread
the
a rumor about them. And
1950, it wasn't until the 1950s that they quit throwing women in jail, and not in jail, but in psychiatric wards. If they couldn't throw them in jail, they throw them in the psych ward.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Before they had a clue what was going on with the periods and stuff, they thought women were just, they would throw them in the psych ward. Ever being on their period. You know what I mean? And it's like, damn, but they must have had strict fucking rules back in them days. Like,
oh, well.
What you just say? Hey, come get her. Come get her. She just talked back. I'm just putting her in the psych ward. And her husband could put him right in the fucking psych ward.
I bet it was like that.
It was
so
bad.
The women were listening to everything, almost had no voice for themselves.
Yep, and
now they have too much of I'm playing.
Nah, but seriously though, that's yeah, it's been a good chat, and
yeah, it has.
As always,
we're working on getting the schedule set. It's just we're going to try to actually boom off a couple of videos, hopefully, put them in the bank, and then release them by the week.
Pocket.
Yeah, release them by the week on a date, and that way we know it's going to release on that day.
That way you know.
That way y'all know. And subscribe to Chris's game content as well.
Oh, yeah,
Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
Oh, yeah.
But we appreciate all the subscribers.
Yeah,
and
we appreciate all the new subscribers we've had since last episode, and we hope you guys enjoy this one. And
we do, because we try to get into some.
We try to cover a broad range of topics.
And honestly, it'd be good if we could get playback on it. That way we
give us some feedback
about what y'all like, or
definitely tell us what you think. Tell us what you like, what you don't like,
and hopefully we'll get our first guest in here.
Yeah,
hopefully December 17th. We'll see.
If I can get Sadhguru to answer the phone, man, he's not so nice when you try to contact his publicist. Is a dick.
Yeah, that's what it is.
His publicist.
He'll probably
is a
answer
dick.
everybody's calls.
Yeah, it's always busy.
Yeah. Because he's talking to a guy for an hour on the phone.
He was just trying to ask him some quick questions.
Yeah, and he's gonna break.
How was your family?
Yeah. I'm gonna tell you, but I'm gonna tell you for an hour. But it's all gonna be hitting, so you're gonna be paying attention for that long.
You be crying. You might cry or something. You called him about something.
You might get up and run laps. Yeah, be motivated.
I'm saying. But thank you guys, and until next time.
Yeah, be good. Stay classy. Don't be.